Colorblind people of Reddit, what is one of the most unexpected problems related to color you face often? The football, soccer, team I support now occasionally wears a color I can't really distinguish from the bloody pitch. So, I now watch 11 players from an opposing team walk about with ghosts as a show of support. Shopping for clothes. I'm not severely colorblind, but have issues with things like purple from some shades of blue, dark greens from browns, teal from gray, things like that. So I hate when clothing store tags or website color options either have number codes for color or non-descriptive names for colors. Olive green on a sweater is great. Pine tree and I'll figure it out. Misty hike and I am lost. Same with 091. On my stepdad's behalf, I'll say that he doesn't know that the kitchen utensils are all pink. And also the time he got my mom a fluffy pink robe for Christmas, but it was actually green. Not colorblind, but my fiance is. He struggles with the ties on loaves of bread. The color of the tie will blend in with our countertop and I'll hear him tapping his hand up and down trying to find it so he can close the packaging on the loaf. Watching the NBA after they stopped forcing teams to wear white at home. It's a confusing mess most of the time. I had a colorblind science teacher. He brought it up when we got to genetics and recessive genes. The small town had an upside-down traffic light for decades. The teacher knew it was upside down, and just remember to was go, bottom was stop. Then the town suddenly flipped it right side up. Luckily there wasn't an accident, he just had to explain to the officer what happened. Trying to pick outfits or matching clothes for my kids. Thankfully my daughter helps me get clothes for her little brother when my wife isn't around. It's also very difficult, impossible, for me to safely do electrical work. Standing outside one late October night, watching one of the best displays of the northern lights that I've seen. My family is gasping at the shifting display of colors pink and blue and purple swirled in with the more common green. I look over at our friend, who is much less awe-inspired than us, and remember that he's colorblind. I didn't mention it or make a fuss, but it made me quite sad for him. People asking what color something is upon hearing that you are colorblind. Mowing the lawn, sometimes I'll miss a small patch and won't see it. I can't read a lot of color-coded charts. For example, when they show rain intensity on the radar. If there's just red, green, and blue I do okay. When they start adding yellow, orange, purple, etc., it just looks like a jumbled mess. Colorblind physician, tests such as urine pregnancy tests will often turn red when positive. Electronic medical record software would flag important information in red. Rashes can be tough. I once thought I was being helpful by cleaning up blood on the floor. Apparently I just smeared it around, walked through it and tracked it around the clinic. I walked into clinic and my coworker didn't even look up, she just said nope. Never wear that tie with those pants ever again. My roommate is a graphic designer and he's colorblind. I asked him how it works and his answer was computers label the colors. The rest is guess and hope. I'm not colorblind, but I had a friend in middle school who was. He showed up to school very proud of his St. Patrick's Day outfit. All green, he said. It was all brown. The kicker was that he didn't know he was colorblind until we told him. It was middle school, so he definitely got pinched that day. Trying to buy bananas. I can never tell which ones are or aren't ripe. Board games with multiple players, unless all of the markers are vibrant colors, I have to constantly pay attention to where my marker is. And if that similar color player and I pass on the board, usually have to ask whose is whose. I can't distinguish red text from black text in Excel workbooks. Some people use red to indicate negative numbers. Drives me mad. I was in jail with a guy that drew and was fairly colorblind. It was really weird, but the colors he saw really worked for his art. He drew me up a really awesome piece, and his color scheme was wild. I told him to draw me what he sees, and was not expecting to see what I did. I wish I still had a picture, but my son destroyed it. Getting emails from colleagues telling me their comments can be found below in red. My dad is colorblind. We went to a paint night and were supposed to paint snowmen. The instructor gave us verbal instructions of what colors to use. Poor dad couldn't tell them apart. He didn't care, he just had fun, but everyone else was sure confused by his art. People will get moody or upset and I will have no idea why. Apparently they got their hair dyed and was not happy. I did not notice. Some time ago a friend was on his way to my place for the first time. I explained to him that it was the red house on the right side of the road and some local waypoints, so that he would find it. Some time passed and no friend. He then called me saying that he couldn't find the house and asked me to go and stand by the road so that he could see me. After a minute or so he turned into my parking lot and asked if I was a complete fucking idiot. That was the day I found out I'd been living in a brown house for the last 5 years, and not a red one as I thought. I am a colorblind female and picking out makeup, applying it so that it looks good is next to impossible. Also, I had purple glasses as a senior in high school only to find this out a year later when I went to eye doctor and wanted to order the same color blue lenses, only they weren't blue. Picking out clothes that look good is quite a challenge also. Cooking meat. I basically only cook white meat, turkey and chicken, at home because I have no idea how to tell if lamb/beef is cooked enough brown. Oh, also taking care of my plant. One of the ways to inspect your plant's health is to see the change in the shade of green of the leaves, thanks nature, so I literally have to take pictures every few days and check RGB values using computer software lol. Girlfriend has gotten her hair dyed the last few times she has gone to the salon. I don't notice it. I also can't tell if there is a dirty spot on the carpet. I also worked in a file room for a financial institution and everything was color-coded. Everyone was surprised when I destroyed production but was going by file numbers and didn't understand how I was doing it. I really wanted to be an aviation survival technician, helicopter rescue swimmer, or some other search and rescue with the Coast Guard, but I'm disqualified because I'm colorblind. I've noticed my ability to see color is significantly better when I'm looking directly at whatever the thing is. This can lead to some very odd realizations when you decide to actually look directly at something. There was a garden I walked past every day for like 5 years and one day I glanced at the house, and it was a livid neon pink color. I'd always thought it was like a basic light tan, slightly lighter than bricks normally are, and I had to double take. Also, when I see a notification light flash, I have to wait for it to flash again so I can be sure which color it is. Tube maps are a nightmare. Telling when fruit is ripe is a nightmare. Noticing people have dyed their hair is problematic. I mean really, how often do you look at someone and focus on their hair? You'd be surprised how often color is the only identifier for things. Can you hand me the red one? Or turn left at the brown house? I'd say little things like that make up the majority of times my colorblindness is a problem. Also, some album/film art looks awful to me, and sometimes I can't read the words. My dad was a fighter pilot. So growing up, I wanted to be a fighter pilot. I learned everything I could about jets and fighters. Had large posters that showed exactly what the inside of the F-16, F-18, and F-22 cockpits looked like. With the help of my dad I knew every switch, button, and lever at 7 years old. At 11 years old I could start the planes, take off, land, and mid-air refuel on real F-16 simulators that the USAF uses to train pilots. At 18 I scored 83 and higher on all parts of the AVAB test. Then came the eye test. Find out I'm colorblind. You can't be a fighter pilot if you are colorblind. I find it really difficult to tell the headphones/microphone plugs apart, and keep thinking that my headphones have broken, when in fact, I've just plugged them in the wrong holes. When electrical devices are charging and change from red to green when fully charged. I have no idea. Simply making the charging light flash and fully charged light not flash would make life so much easier. Disqualification from certain careers. Being unable to see if the lock in a public toilet is red or green. It's a godsend when toilets are labeled vacant or engaged. Easter egg hunts consisted of my parents placing green eggs randomly throughout our lawn and backyard grass. Took me hours to find them all, and my relatives would always think I was playing stupid. Not colorblind, but a former teammate of mine was. I was on the school soccer team and one of the better players was colorblind. You couldn't notice in a game or anything, but when we were practicing the kid would run past the cones looking for them. It was funny how small of an issue it was, but how hopeless he was at finding them, so we would yell at him instructions to complete the drills. Obligatory. I'm not colorblind, but my uncle is. He has previously said that at intersections with a single traffic light, so not the red/yellow/green kind, he has a hard time trying to figure out if it's a flashing red or a flashing yellow. Friends who know I'm colorblind answering on my behalf on what I would see a color as, if I am asked what I see something as. Lighting changes color so much, which is already annoying, but a friend saying I see a color as grayish when I absolutely do not see it as, that drives me up the wall. I once wore a pair of bottle green pants for a year thinking they were brown. My girlfriend at the time let me know what color they were. It went like this: "Hey, have you seen my brown pants?" "What brown pants?" "The ones I was wearing yesterday. With the ball sack, they are green. Like statement green. I thought you knew." I have to use a flashlight to tell the difference in color between my shirts. I have trouble differentiating similar shades next to each other. Add the fact that I have nearly monocular vision and poor depth perception, and well, let's just say finding my black cell phone on my black comforter and sheets usually amounts to me slapping my hands down on the bed like a gorilla until the phone bounces. This becomes frantic and often unsuccessful if I don't have my glasses on. People who don't believe me and try to test me by asking me what color something is. It was funny the first time it happened in 2nd grade. It's not really funny 30 years later. Being able to spot the little medians in parking lots at the end of rows. If there's no yellow paint on the ends, it just blends in with the rest of the grey pavement, making it virtually invisible. This is especially hard at night. I'm not colorblind, but my friend is. When she was in high school, her mom had to deal with a family emergency and go out of town for a few days. She put on the wrong shade of khakis and didn't realize it since nobody was home to tell her. That is until she got in trouble at school and got sent home. My mom had to go pick her up. I've always found that so silly. She didn't have shorts or a tank top on, nothing like that. She was basically wearing school uniform. She just put on the wrong shade of khakis without realizing because she's colorblind and had to miss an entire day of learning over it. No one believing that I am in fact colorblind. I'm a woman, and it's incredibly rare for women to have it. I had to go to 9 different eye doctors before I was finally diagnosed. Edit to add, the only reason we discovered it was because my mom took me to this pre-kindergarten testing, something we do in our school district, to determine if kids are at the right level developmentally prior to starting school. They ask questions about colors, numbers, letters, take your height and weight, etc. just to make sure you're on track. The testers implied I was a little slow because I got some questions about colors wrong lol, and my mom was not having it. She's a teacher and she worked hard with both my sister, who's also colorblind, and I. So the reason why we went to 9 eye doctors is because I was 4 years old and most of them thought I was faking it. Every time I get a new eye doctors now, they always ask to test me because I've never met a woman who's colorblind before. Red-green blindness here. Can't do a lot of jobs due to this. Like pilot, train conductor, operating certain machinery, etc. The list is quite long and frustrating if you got to turn down great job offers because you know you won't make it through the medical exam. That's yellow, no, that's red, so is it ketchup? Yeah. I have difficulty telling the difference between ripe banana yellow and unripe banana green, so I have to wait for some black spots to appear before I know it's ready. Teachers thought I was a special kid because I couldn't place colors to their appropriate places. I also had dysgraphia and dyslexia, but a gifted level IQ. Imagine that. My entire education was fucked until I got out of high school, retook classes through correspondence, and made high 90s. But yeah, colorblindness was the start to a terrible education. The colorblindness is something that's so natural to me that I only really ever realize I'm colorblind when I make an outward mistake. Like one time I told a buddy that I left an orange sweater at his place and he looked for it everywhere, and when I got there I pointed it out, and he told me it was hot pink. Another time I told my buddies I could be a pilot and see the lights on the ground. They gave me a test. Turns out if I flew a plane it would be a bad ordeal to land it. Don't you love the beautiful fall colors? It's all brown. I inherited skater jeans from my older brother that he had dyed pink. I thought they were brown and wore them quite a long time during high school. I am a very thorough wiper when I defecate, and also I ride a bicycle for a living. Sometimes when I wipe it turns to blood and I think I'm still wiping poop, but really I'm just incessantly wiping blood out of my ass. So not colorblind, but my dad is. I can't tell you how many times he would bring home a diet version of some pop because they looked the same to him. Big pens. Red and green. I can see the caps perfectly and they're super different for me, but once you draw a line on each of them, WTF. They look the same. I put on blue light blocking glasses on in the evenings, which basically make me temporarily colorblind to blue. It's insane how much worse it makes me at video games. Sometimes I can't see dog shit in grass. There are plenty of times when I've had a shitty time. My grandpa was colorblind. I dyed my hair some fun colors and he complimented it. When I asked how he knew, he told me it was really shiny and reflected the sun in a pretty way. I miss him. My dad is colorblind and he is amazing at art. It always used to blow my mind when he used color. Dad, how do you know what color that is? He would say he can read the color name. He's just so amazing with art, it's insane. He knows what say green is because he knows how it looks when it's green, blue, red, whatever color. I used to think he was magic because he was colorblind, but he would always read traffic lights right. Red for stop, green for go, yellow caution. I thought for sure he was tricking me about being colorblind. Then he finally told me his secret. Red is always the top, yellow middle, green bottom. It was that simple and I thought he was magic. Lol. His wife bought him some of those glasses to help colorblind people see colors. He was overjoyed. He cried. We cried. He was 45 when he got them. He was so amazed at the colors he would go on color hunting trips. I took him to a greenhouse so he could see all the different colors of flowers. My sister and brother took him on a leaf spotting trip so he could see the beautiful fall colors. My stepmom took him to Florida on a fish finding trip to see the color of the water and all the beautiful colors surrounding the ocean. He watched so many sunsets with us and just happy tears that he could make out the colors and how beautiful it was. It really made me see color in a new light. I never stopped and thought about it much because it's so normal to me. It made him so happy to finally be able to see his artwork he's done through the years. How truly amazing his art really is to his new eyes. He doesn't wear the glasses all the time because it will give him a headache after so long. Also, he got bad motion sickness the first time he drove with them on. He doesn't wear them when driving, and only wears them as a passenger if we're going slow. So definitely not interstate speed. He's amazing and I love him so very much. I enlisted in the military and you are disqualified from most jobs if you are colorblind. Ironically enough, I had the job that required you to wear red patches, or at least they told us the patches were red, on our uniforms. Also, growing up with my favorite color being blue, I always got frustrated when it turned out I picked out the purple toothbrush by mistake. I had typed up some practical stuff but deleted it because there's something no one thinks about. You have to accept and live with the fact that at least one of your 5 senses is fundamentally wrong/flawed. And sometimes that can be a very lonely feeling. Let me try to explain through a somewhat weird example. Imagine someone showing you a picture and asking you what you see. It's a dog, so you tell them it's a dog. Correct. They put away the picture and show you another one. It's the exact same dog, so you tell them it's a dog again. Wrong, this is an elephant. At first you think this guy is crazy. You know what a fucking elephant looks like and that ain't no elephant. But everyone you show the pictures to will tell you that's a dog, that's an elephant without a second thought. In the end, you need to accept that you are the crazy one. You'll adapt, it's not a difficult disability to live with. But it's a harsh truth to accept that one of your own senses can't be trusted entirely. I can never tell when the charger on my laptop is blinking red or green, lol, that's about it though, aside from running a traffic light on accident once. I'm a colorblind animator and I do that with some colors too. I'm bad at skin tones and wood. I always make wood too green, so I'll literally just Google a photo of a person or a tree and grab the RGB with the eyedropper thing, lol. I'm colorblind and went to a Catholic junior school. I remember one time I got sent to the principal's office for being disrespectful. I had colored in Jesus' hair green when I thought it was brown. A lot of bathroom doors only indicate their status by a small window of green or red. This is an affront to my humanity. I am also a kindergarten teacher. We use a workbook that often asks students to color different things different colors. This is a nightmare for me to grade. I have a friend who is yellow and blue colorblind and half of his clothes are yellow and blue. I just wear black all the time so that I don't make mistakes. Getting nauseous when looking at certain websites because of the color contrasts. Literally makes me want to vomit. Explaining the colorblind issue itself. Like I'm red/green colorblind. Then you get the one guy, what color is this? What color is that? You jackass, you tell me, you aren't the colorblind one. Health related, had an urethral tract infection. Couldn't tell my urine turned more red over the whole day. In the evening I noticed the color seemed darker. So next time I had an urge, I peed into a white cup. My girlfriend saw me afterwards holding the cup into the light, looking for something in it, and came closer. I asked her what color it was. She said red, maybe orange. Then she asked what it was. And couldn't close her eyes for a few seconds after I have told her. Meeting people and thinking they have gray/white hair when it's really just blonde. Definitely messes with my sense of people's ages, especially when masks and or glasses are added. I honestly thought my boyfriend had gray hair for the longest time, despite his age, but as his hair was turning brown he told me and I felt so dumb. Hospitals that have color-coded lines on the floor to get to specific departments are a nightmare. My brother is colorblind. He can't tell if a fruit is good or bad and has had his fair share of bad oranges. My partner is colorblind and has trouble seeing indicator lights. If he is not looking to confirm that the burner on the stove is on, he does not see it. Same goes for items like the clean light on the dishwasher and the newer reflective traffic lights. My friend who is colorblind was piloting a boat we were in. The channel markers were green for deep side and red for shallow. It was a late night and we were trying to get back ASAP, so he guns it toward the markers yelling, "Green." Starts angling left, no. Red. Braces for corrective steering to the right, repeat 8x. I'm not going to read through the trillions of responses to see if this has been posted already, so with that in mind, you can't describe anything by its color. It has to be defined some other way. Let's say you're in a car with another person and you're parked at some lights. Over by the side of the road are 3 parked cars. A bird, for example, did a poo on one of them and you thought it was funny, so you mention it to your friend. You get asked which car? Looking at the cars, you might see a green car, a brown car and an orange car. If you say the green one over there, you might soon find out that none of the cars are green. Could be 2 browns and an orange or 2 weird shades of yellow, or they could all be different shades of yellow. Who knows? So you have to say the one in the middle or the second one or the one closest to that pole or something else. It's frustrating to have to think like that. What's that album so and so released with the orange cover? Yeah, look for my friend Jake, he's wearing a purple hoodie. If someone asks you to get their lunch from the fridge while you've got the door open and they say it's in the blue lunchbox, you have to ask them to clarify in some way which one is the one that's theirs. Do you like my green top or my blue top better? Well, which one is which? Is it the one with tassels or baubles or long sleeves, or the picture on the front, or the one with the square buttons, or what? Video games sometimes. Most of colorblind assist now though. Shopping. I thought I was buying forest green accent stuff for my house. Turns out I was buying a weird mix of brown and a few shades of green. My fiancée just laughed. Nothing matched. She now does the decorating in our house together. Wiring. I am handy. And I used to be a car mechanic. Trying to sort out wiring is god-awful. Clothing. I'm pretty sure I've gone out in some funky outfits before. Traffic lights and spreadsheets. I work in loss prevention and form a reserve deputy. If I am trying to relay the color of a car to dispatch, I have to guess, then tell them that I am guessing. Me, Honda Accord, license plate Echo, Foxtrot, Charlie 271. Possible green or blue in color. I am colorblind. Dispatch, be advised RP reports Honda Civic license plate EFC 271 dark in color, registration says blue. Police pull over car. It has been painted gunmetal gray. Officer, to me, in what world is this car green or blue? Do you need to go back to school and learn your colors? Me, I reported to 911 that I was colorblind. Read the call log. Unexpectedly 4 found it to be more other people's problem. I've grown up to absolutely not interested in colors with the exception of purple. So I don't care what color my house is, but my GF really wants me to be involved. What color is th at, ufaric kiang li io not colu bailey ndb car use th is shuldb in vice blay. I play Among Us, and sometimes I would vote myself or the wrong person out because I couldn't differentiate colors. I dated a redhead and I had no idea. My friend's dad went to see Wicked and thought no one liked Elphaba because she had brown skin. She is green, for those of you who don't know. My son is colorblind and we recently bought him glasses designed for his exact color blindness. It just so happened to be peak foliage season during autumn when they arrived. We brought him outside so he could try them on for the first time. The look on his face when he saw the color of the leaves, the orange, reds and yellows, was priceless. To him the trees look dark green during the summer and muted light green in the fall. He couldn't believe how it actually looked. He's still young, but I'm glad they have technology like this, and I hope they continue to have advances in supporting people with color blindness.